And now, coming off the showroom of Bike Shop Ravonia, it's a Vespa from 2013 with just 400 kilometers on the clock. And if we are honest, it has a few problems.
I mean, if you open the throttle all the way, more noise happens, but not that much forward.
It has a 4-stroke, 150cc motor with one air-cooled cylinder, a single overhead cam, and 3 valves. It's fed by electronic fuel injection, and all this puts out 13 of the gentlest little pony powers you've ever felt. And it all goes through a CVT auto transmission, leading up to a top speed of a little more than 90 kilometers per hour. So if you're looking for something to defy physics and rearrange your organs, this isn't it. But the issues don't stop there.
It's not really the most sort of comfortable, is it? I mean, the seat's kind of hard. The suspension, it's there. And it's got tiny little wheels, so yeah, not great.
Well, perhaps that's an over-exaggeration. The wheels are small, 12 inches, which is standard issue for small scooters.
As far as being a commuter goes, I mean, it's small, it's very, very light. It's easy to chuck around. Well, in that case, it all works. Yeah, definitely.
The front wheel uses the famous Vespa single-sided link arm with a mono shock, so no traditional forks here. The rear suspension is much the same with a gas shock absorber. That's an advanced setup for a scooter. While these are redeeming features, we still have more problems.
There's no storage space at all. I mean, there's a little hook under the seat here, but apart from that, nothing. No boots, no cubby holes, nothing.
So, not the most practical. But then small scooters are priced right? Especially an 11-year-old scooter on a used showroom, right? Well, apparently not.
Even at 11 years old, this thing is still 179,000 rand. For a scooter, an 11-year-old scooter.
So that must be the end of that, right? Honestly, what were Vespa thinking building something like this? Except for one little thing. This scooter is Italian. And Italians are very good at doing one thing in particular.
This bike is utterly beautiful. I mean, really, it's stunningly gorgeous. I'm getting all gooey thinking about it.
No, really, just look at it. Look at those flowing lines. Look at the shapes, the curves, that hovering saddle seat. How it's all so simple and yet so exquisite. The frame is traditional Vespa steel monocoque, while the outer panels are lightweight aluminium. And it has been designed this way for a purpose. This is the 946 that was introduced to the world at the EICMA show in 2012, where it won the Best in Show award and was built between 2013 and 2014. The name 946 is short for 1946, the year Vespa sprung into existence after a war made the need for cheap, simple transport a big must. The newly founded Vespa company built a bike called the MP6, and it's around this that the 946 was designed. So this is a very special little Vespa indeed. Not that you get Vespas that aren't special.
Here's the thing about a Vespa, and this is true against all other scooters, every single one of them, including the Japanese, or whoever it is. When you get on a Vespa, you just automatically think to yourself, yes. The way it rides, yes. How smooth it is, yes. How solid it feels, yes. How quality it feels, yes. Everything about this scooter is a massive step up on any other scooter. This is the Rolls Royce of scooters.
So, if you have your heart set on a scooter, Vespa is about the best you can get. When you want a scooter that's the best you can get and pure art, then you need a 946. Possibly this 946.
This bike has 400 kilometers on the clock. It's nothing. It's new. Even for an Italian bike, it's brand new. And it looks impeccable. I mean, obviously the Bike Shop Rivonia people have had a go at it. I mean, you should see their operation just to look after brand new motorbikes, coming onto the floor. They get a thorough going over. And even over and beyond that, this thing is just, it's brand new. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. As I said, this is a bike you park somewhere special. And you look at it. You don't ride it to work and back every day. You buy a big boy for that, But you park it somewhere special. You look at it, you appreciate it, you love it. And get it out only on special occasions. Which is why this thing has 400Ks. I'm surprised it has 400Ks. Who put a whole 400Ks on this bike? I don't know. I wish I had 180K. I really do want one of these. I want to just love it. And I know there's a lot of people, yeah, it's a scooter, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not going to call it masculine. But it's beautiful. I've seen people buy far worse things for a lot more money just because they're beautiful.
Indeed, this is a form of art that can conveniently move around. So the best thing to do is park it somewhere special in your house where you can gaze upon it and perhaps take it out only on special occasions, like a Vespa run, where you will very likely be riding the most special Vespa there.
What Don says is true. The Italians really are very good at making engineering that borders on being art. We're used to it with the likes of Ducati and, of course, MV Agusta, where they're not shy about proclaiming their own products to be motorcycling art. And as boastful as that might be, it's difficult to argue with. The same goes for the many world-famous Italian car manufacturers that can rightfully claim the same thing about their Exotica, though perhaps the finest proponent of this whole marketing of engineering as art argument is in fact Vespa, because this is, after all, just a very slow but rather pretty scooter. All the other Italian legends we've just mentioned can rely on the allure of outrageous performance to back up their beautiful design with some cold, hard numbers about power and speed, all of which helps justify the slightly nutty price tags. Admittedly, just under 180,000 Rand won't even get you a model of one of those cars to put on your Lani desk in your CEO's office, so it's not really that expensive in the grand scheme of things. But for a 12 horsepower scooter of this vintage, it does a couple of things. First, it shows that you are really rather rich, and 180,000 Rand is the sort of chump change you can drop on an ornament without even thinking about it. It also shows that you are a connoisseur of scooters and that you understand value in terms of rarity and desirability and history, because, let's face it, you're part of a very exclusive club when you become a 946 owner. If your interest has been piqued by this bike shop offering, but you're a bit slow off the mark and it has already been sold by the time you ring up to make an offer, don't worry, because Vespa has just announced that it is releasing another, even more rare version of the 946 for just a smidgen over £250,000, which seems almost cheap when you consider it is in fact brand new and has 400 kilometres less than the 400 kilometres on the clock of Don's bike. And it is a limited edition model with only 1,800 to ever be produced. The same going, we presume, for the accompanying varsity style jacket, fashioned from Napa leather and ribbed wool. Underneath the familiar scooter exterior shape are the same mechanicals, but the bodywork is now more golden, and there is a dragon tattoo of sorts. Okay, it's a dragon sticker, but it's Italian and expensive, so it's probably a lot more fetching and desirable than cheesy, which is what it primarily seems to be to me at least. If there is someone in South Africa who splashes the cash on this most unique of unique Vespas, please let us know. I'd love for Don to be able to get a test ride of the jacket, not the scooter. He's one of the few bike journalists in the world I know who could really carry off such a fetching piece of fashion couture.